Hi everyone, just a quick message on the back of the letter I've just sent about the lockdown drill that is happening next week. Hopefully you've had a chance to read that, and this is just a bit more information and just something to hopefully put a few minds at rest and to explain what we're doing. So this lockdown drill is happening, it's part of a legislation that's coming in April 27, so we are quite a long way down the road towards that. We've been doing a lot of work leading up to it. It's the Prevention of Terrorism Act, also known as Martyn's Law. So that came about because of Martyn. He was one of the victims of the Manchester Arena bombing and worked from his parents and people getting this law together. It covers all buildings, public buildings that might have a large number of people using them, so such as schools. And it's just to make sure that we have processes in place to keep people as safe and secure as we possibly can for lots of different eventualities. We've obviously done this in line with Dunstan Hill. You can see Dunstan Hill Primary just behind us there. Obviously we're on the same site, working with the likes of Equans, who's a company here, the catering company, to make sure that we have a really tight process in place for lockdown. Myself, members of those organisations, other members of my leadership team have done quite a lot of training on this and attended a lot of briefings to make sure we're getting this right. The thing about the lockdown is we're having a drill, but a real lockdown would occur for such a variety of reasons that we can't possibly plan for every single eventuality. So, you know, if you think of where we are as a school, you know, yes, it's the prevention of terrorism. It could be that someone is on site with intent to harm. It could be that we've received an anonymous email of a threat that may or may not be real. We're right on the A1, so you know, just over the back of the building there, we've got the A1 going past. A lockdown could occur because there's been some sort of tanker spillage, and there's chemicals, and we've been told to lock down because of that. So there's a variety of reasons why we might lock down. So really the important thing for us is to get those first few minutes right, and that's what the drill is about. It's making sure that in those first few minutes, from whatever the threat happens to be, we are able to identify the threat, identify the safe spaces, and make sure that we get our young people, our staff, anyone on site to those safe spaces, and to establish lines of communication. So communication between the different buildings and users here, with everybody in the building, to make sure that we know where everyone is and we have contact with our staff, and also communication with the outside, with services and emergency services. So that's what the drill is about. It'll be quite short, and just to make sure we have all those things in place, because what then happens is, obviously depending on the occurrence, there would be different plans and different measures put in place. So in terms of this drill, we've already done a lot of work with your children during Thrive, so they've done some planning work around it. There's been a lot of questions, which is great, and a lot of things that they wish to ask, and I'm sure there will be from yourselves as well and from our staff. What we'll also be doing is, following the lockdown, we'll be putting out sort of a feedback sheet to yourselves, to the students, to the staff, again, just anything that occurred to you, any questions you wish to ask. We may not, or probably won't be able to answer many of them, but we'll answer as many as we possibly can, or certainly give some sort of response. So we'll then produce another document for you, another letter to explain to you what we learned from the lockdown drill, and sort of almost a frequently asked questions sheet. So I'll say it's really important that we do this. We make sure that first and foremost that we know everyone's safe, and that in every eventuality everyone can be safe. And once we have that in place, we can make sure we build on that and make sure that any sort of eventuality, any sort of possibility is dealt with. This is one of those things where we hope we never ever need it, but we'll need to be absolutely sure that we know what we're doing just in case we do. Okay, thank you.